Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to create an outline. So, if you turn to page 16 in your research manual, this tells you how to create the outline, and it's going to talk about the thesis statement and that type of thing. I don't want you to worry about the thesis statement right now. What the most important information is right now is getting your cards organized in such a way that you can create your outline. So in order to do that, I want to show you a couple of things here. So today you're going to organize your idea and you're going to create your initial outline. Your outline might actually change as you get to writing your paper. You might decide you want to switch the order and that type of thing, and that's perfectly okay. But today we're going to get started with that. So what you're going to do first is you're going to take out your note cards and you're going to put your source cards to the side, and you're just going to kind of put all your note cards all together in a stack. Okay. Then you're going to pick up your first card and you're going to read it, and you're going to look at the heading specifically. And you're going to think about how I would categorize that. So again, with the same Martin Luther King Jr. idea, if I had a card with a heading of Martin Luther King Jr. and his assassination, I would lay that down and think, okay, that's about he was killed, and maybe I might want to think about how he was a civil rights leader, and that's a category as a civil rights leader. Then you're going to pick up another card. It doesn't matter which one. Look at the heading again. Is it about him being a civil rights leader? Or is it about him, the heading, does it talk about him being a pastor? Or does it talk about his education? If it talks about him being a civil rights leader, you put it below the other card. If it doesn't, you make another little stack. And you do that for all of your note cards. So you're going to wind up having like multiple stacks of cards. And when I say stacks, I mean like I want you to lay them out so you could kind of see how many you have. When you do this, it allows you the opportunity to see where you have more information and then where you have less information. Okay. So you've got all these cards in these little kind of lines based on the heading and what it's about. So let's say this stack is Martin Luther King Jr. and civil rights leader. And this stack right here is maybe about the Rosa Parks incident and the Birmingham bus boycott and how he first became involved. And maybe these two are about his education, and these two are about him being a pastor. And maybe these two right here are about his personal life or something like that. Maybe you just have a couple cards that are hanging out on the side. You're not even sure where to put those right yet. Perfectly okay. After you do that, you're going to look at the piles and your stacks. And I don't want you to look at the guide words now. I want you to think about how you've got these cards organized. So if I have one big long pile about how Martin Luther King Jr. was a civil rights leader, that all of those would probably go together. Would any of the other cards go in with that? Maybe. Think about this. Do these cards that you have laid down here in front of you relate to one another? Are they cause and effect? Do they have similar participants, reactions? Are they all part of some kind of event? So you're going to think about how you can reorganize those cards and your ideas so that they will flow within a paper and an organization. Okay. So after you do that, so let's say I decide, and I'm going to scroll back up here just for a minute. Let's say that I've got all these cards about Martin Luther King Jr. being the civil rights leader. And I've got these cards right here about him being part of the Birmingham bus boycott and Rosa Parks. And I want to keep those two separate because this stack right here is how he got involved. This is kind of important. This might include cards about his assassination, all of his speeches, different things that he did while he was a a civil right, maybe even has his information about the Nobel Peace Prize or something in here. Let's say these cards right here about his education, and these two are about him being a pastor. Now, he is a pastor because he went to school to be that. So maybe I could take these two cards and move them over here, okay? And then maybe I still have a couple cards hanging out over here. I'm not quite sure what to do with them. Maybe one's a really good quote I could use in my introduction. I don't know. But you're just going to kind of take all these different piles and see how you can combine some of these ideas. And in doing that, you're going to take those piles once you've combined them and put a Post-it note on each pile. So I'll have one pile for Martin Luther King, civil rights leader, one pile about him being instrumental in Rosa Parks and the Birmingham bus boycott when he started. Maybe one pile is about education and pasture. However you want to do it, what makes the most sense to you. A lot of times, chronological order works with a lot of people. And chronological is pretty straightforward. So now I want you to think about how you would organize that. If this was your first main idea, your second main idea, your third main idea, would I talk about him being a civil rights leader first? Or would I talk about him being a pastor and going to school to be a pastor? Would I talk about Rosa Parks first? This is where you've got to figure out a logical order, okay? And then all the details here, this is all the support in the notes from your cards, okay? This is the end of part 1 on how to create an outline, and I will be right back with the next video. If you have any questions, you know where to reach me.